Mm-hmm. I'm Annie.
And I'm Susan.
And this is
Two Friends, One Chat.
Annie and Susan might get clinical-ish.
Ish.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah.
I
Just
love
ish.
clinical-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I like that so much. Also, I'm not sure why we took such a deep breath. I mean, two friends, one chat is not a long sentence.
No, but sometimes the moment just speaks to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I felt too.
Breathing's important, so I'm not mad that we did it. We should all take more deep breaths in general.
One might say that's a mindfulness exercise.
I didn't say I did it. I said we should all do it. But now that I do it.
Oh my, you guys.
Stop throwing mindfulness on me.
Oh, we're going to do so many episodes about it. Not today, though. Don't stress out.
I'm gonna be sick that day. I'm gonna be out. I'll get a doctor's note. I promise.
I have cramps. I can't.
I do have cramps really bad.
Do you want Advil or anything?
No.
Oh, I know it upsets your stomach.
Oh,
but
boy, howdy. I mean, I even took, I don't know if it was Pamprin or Midol. This might be TMI for you, but no.
Our listeners are cool.
Because that stuff, like, knocks me out. That stuff's intense.
Yeah.
I think, at least. But they were so bad the other day. I was like, just do it. You gotta do something.
Yeah.
Gotta do something. Gosh darn cramps.
Okay, here's the thing. And I remember someone telling me this, and I think I've talked about this already, but, like, someone told me this. They said, the trick to cramps is to pound a gallon of water a day the couple days before your period. And I remember I was like, no, right? There's no way that could work.
Yeah.
And then I started doing, like, a gallon challenge for myself.
Yeah.
Just, like, to hydrate and lower my cholesterol and all the good things that water can do for you. And sure as shit, like,
shut up.
My cramps decreased immensely. Like, and there's no way that I would have believed that. So I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it has to do with, like, thinning your blood and your body processing. And I actually do get the science behind it, but did not expect something natural to be that effective, which just goes to show how, like, ingrained I am in our medicine world. Like,
oh my gosh.
Western
Oh,
medicine.
so true.
Yeah.
So true. Also, I don't know if this is a thing. If people have heard of this, I'd love them to tell me. At least this is what I'm thinking right now. When my cramps are really bad, I swear they're, like, in my hip. And I know that, like, my hip is not part of my reproductive tract. So I know that that's not, like, they're not truly in there.
There's not a secret ovary
but
up in there.
But I wonder if there's... Because for a while I always thought, no, it's just crazy. I must have just, I don't know, whatever. I'm just randomly having these pains at the same time.
Yeah.
But boy, how do they come together?
Interesting.
Do
you have, like, a hip injury or an existing injury or anything? Because
I mean, my hips are just dumb.
Okay.
They hurt often, but there's no good reason for it.
Like, it could be just, like, the swelling, right? Like, because, you know, your like, lady parts aren't the only thing that swells, like your uterus and all of that. The rest of your body does too. I've noticed my muscles swell, and so it might be if they're sensitive to begin with. If
there's, like, something there already, it just kind of aggravates it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, surprise period talk.
Surprise! Today. You're welcome. Enjoy that.
Periods are a thing. They're terrible, and I have seen on social media the cramp simulators, and they're giving them to, like, people that have not experienced a period before.
Oh, enjoy that, friends. Enjoy that.
It's actually super awesome because it's kind of a scientific way to teach empathy, because it really is that bad, and it is really difficult to focus and to maintain a cool temp. And I mean, I don't mean like a physical cool temp, I mean like an emotional cool temp when you're in that much pain.
Yes!
Yeah. And that's our fun talk about periods.
Yes. Yeah. It happens, right? Happens to the best of us. Besides periods.
Yeah.
How the heck are you? It's been a while.
Gosh. Well, as everyone knows, we have experienced a pandemic, and I made it 2.5 years without getting it, and I finally got it. And I'm vaccinated and boosted, which is an absolute gift, because it was miserable. And I just kept thinking, wow, I can't imagine how my body would have reacted without the vaccine.
Oh,
so I'm very fortunate.
Good point.
And I am, you can probably hear a little stuffiness too, but I'm almost fully recovered. So,
yay!
Yeah, I'm starting to get all my energy back, and so I'm doing great. It's summer in the Northwest right now.
Oof, boy howdy. It's
Beautiful.
really doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Really doing it this time.
I love it. I feel like from your tone you do not love it.
Well, I do. I do love hot weather. I do. I have had friends call me a sun slut before. Because, like, where's Susan? She's in the sun.
Okay.
I legit, even as a kid, would go lay on my driveway just so I could get the sun on top and the heat
really sweet
from the cement on the bottom.
Yeah.
But as an adult that works, turns out I don't love working so much.
That's fair. All
like
of that's
in
fair.
and out of the car, and I don't have to wear pants, but I choose to wear pants for work just because it's more comfortable. So it's like, on days I don't have to work, let me out there. Weekend, out pulling weeds, like letting the mosquitoes eat me just because I was outside in the sun. Give it all to me.
Yeah.
Not on work days, it turns out. I don't love that so much, but
that's fair. That's fair. I feel like hot does make you uncomfortable in like professional situations.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah. You know what? I'm doing all right. I'm doing fine.
That's awesome.
In general.
Yeah.
Lots of medical-y things going on right now with me.
With
all my stuff.
What today?
Did I just walk us right into our topic? What?
Actually, I feel like you tap danced us in.
I did.
Like, hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my rectum.
Jazz hands. Jazz hands right into our topic. I think we're going to talk about advocacy, but kind of medical advocacy at first for today. Because, advocacy can and should expand in a lot of different areas.
Absolutely.
But way too many areas to talk about in the time that we spend together. So we'll start with this area.
Yeah.
And then there'll be more.
Yeah.
There'll be more.
I'm actually super excited to talk about this topic because, one, I remember the first time someone talked to me about it, and it kind of blew my mind a little bit because so many systems, you have to have these certain words and magical phrases to unlock the doors and the secrets and the... So today we're going to just talk about our experiences, what we know, what we've experienced. I will share with you every tip I have. And hopefully, again, you can just put that little tool in your tool belt.
Yeah. Throw all these tools in. Pick one out. See if it works. Try it if you want to. Don't if you don't.
Yeah, toss it. Doesn't work, toss it.
Well, toss it back in the bag.
Oh, I love that.
Because it might work for a different situation. Don't toss your tools out completely if they don't work.
Yeah.
Just put them back in the bottom of the bag.
I love that.
You might need them later.
Yep, and feel free to pass it around.
Just like that one screw that you're like, I don't know where this goes to. You're like, should I save it? Should I not save it? Just start yourself a little Tupperware container of the screws that you find, okay? Because one day, it's going to come in handy.
Here's the flip side to that, if I may. I married a man who does that.
Yes!
But one day, he came in and he was like, hey, where did all our Tupperware go? And I said, I don't know, I work from home. Maybe in your lunches? No, I bring it all home. Perhaps the garage?
Check the garage.
Oh my word, I was laughing so hard. I went into the garage and I'm just pulling out all of our little Tupperwares.
I love it!
Well, because, and it makes sense. If you're project specific, you don't want to mix that bowl, right?
Sure.
Oh my God.
Tupperware for each project? Be still my heart. I already was in love, but now I'm even more in love with your husband. Does he label them?
No. That seems to be a bit of the problem.
Well, all right.
Steps.
Okay. Room to grow.
Oh man, I'm totally sidebarring because I do agree, keep it in the tool bag, but that just struck me as so funny. Oh my gosh. Which is fine. I mean, he buys us new Tupperware.
Sure.
Sure. So I'm like, well, it would... I'm not mad. I just think it's hilarious that you're
I
like,
love
where did
it.
all the Tupperware go?
I just want to label it now.
You're like, can I hang out in your garage? Just like 5 minutes. It's only like 5, 10, 20 minutes maybe. You're going to need like 5 days, but.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. But I'd also need him in there with, because
Oh,
I would
yeah.
have no idea what the projects were.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me what to type into the label maker.
Oh,
Do you know I don't own a label maker?
I feel like
We've way sidetracked.
I feel like I already know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
I'm just saying, I can't believe no one's ever got me a label
I
maker
actually
before.
can't believe, and I want to get one of the old school ones, you know? That, like, they're on, like, the hard plastic pieces, you know what I'm talking about? And they, like, emboss.
Yes.
I wonder if you can still get them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well,
You can get anything these days.
Santa's
Okay.
someone, so, you know.
Secret Santa's not so secret.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Okay. We digress. We digress.
Did. Yeah, every time. It's all right.
But it's wonderful.
You love us. We
Yeah.
love you.
Oh
It's
my
fine.
gosh, can't believe you're back to hang out. So let's talk
Okay.
medical advocacy.
Oof.
Okay. I know that you actually have very relevant stories. Can I start with one of the best pieces of advice?
Please do.
They used to do PSAs about this, public service announcements, and this is the most real advice. When you are with your doctor, you can remember about 1/3 of what they tell you.
Oof.
And it's because for most of us, we are in fight or flight in that moment. There's something about doctor's office that are really stressful. So my first piece of, if you want to successfully navigate the medical system, my first, bring a buddy. Bring a trusted buddy.
Yes.
And you're going to feel weird because you're going to be an adult with a buddy. But I promise you, this is productive.
100%.
Yeah.
And professionally, I see this all the time, and I tell my clients, the people that I work with, you should never come alone to clinic. It's too much information. You're not going to be able to hear it all. And even in good medical scenarios, which I think our ALS clinics do a good job of, because we then resend all of the suggestions to the people by my chart, right? So, like, we try our best to cover everything multiple ways. But you need another person there to hear the things that you're not catching.
Yep. Oh, it's
for sure.
Huge.
Bring a buddy.
Yeah. Yes.
Bring a buddy.
Yep. Number 1.
Yeah.
Bring a buddy.
Yeah. What if this just came to me?
Yeah.
Well, and I do tell people to do this sometimes. What if you recorded it? What if you recorded your appointment?
That actually is a great idea. I mean, we all have cell phones. I love that.
Yeah.
There's another idea.
I mean, get consent first.
Oh, yeah.
Get consent from your doctor, but...
Well, and what you can probably do with your doctor is pre-talk about it.
Yeah.
And then say, can I record you giving me the recommendations? And yes, depending on which state, you do have to ask. And some states will say you don't have my consent. And in that case, ask for like a printed out summary with like really intense detailing.
Right.
But yes, I think recording is a great idea. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you had to give the first piece of medical advocacy advice, what would you give?
I want to give like so many.
Okay.
But I know I can pick one. Oh, can I do top 3?
Yeah, top 3.
Well, I'll try to kind of combine them all.
Okay.
I think it's important to remember that your doctor is a person.
Mm-hmm.
They're still just a person. Okay? That being said...
A flawed, beautiful, wonderful person.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That being said, you're in charge.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And people, listen. Do as I say, not as I do. This is something I'm working on personally for myself. My job is to advocate with medical professionals for the people I work with, yet I still suck at advocating for myself.
Ooh, hashtag pause. You don't suck.
No, I'm getting better.
Because I feel like you should tell that success story.
I will.
Oh my god, she's like flipping her hair back. Like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna get there.
But also just remember, that would be my biggest piece of it. You are in charge. You know your body better than anyone else.
Yes.
The doctor doesn't know exactly how you're going to do with whatever they're suggesting, right? All they can do is go with what they know and what medically is recommended. So just know that you're in charge. If it doesn't sound right, say something if you can. Don't do it if it doesn't, like, just, you are in charge. Yes, they went to school. Yes, they make more money sometimes than we do. But you're in charge.
Yep.
You're in charge.
Yes.
So.
And I like to frame it, they really work for you.
They do.
They are your provider.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I know that you have another top two, but I'm wondering, would it be okay if maybe you told kind of your experience with medication and how hard you had to advocate knowing your body the way you know your body?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll try to cut this down to not like the world's longest story.
Well, we can make this 2 episodes because this is so important. This is like one of my favorite topics, actually.
So, my personal story. I tend to be a sensitive person.
Oh my God, you
on
guys.
Lots of levels.
She's the most sensitive human. It's amazing. So sensitive.
But I am medically pretty sensitive to medications. If it's a side effect, I'm gonna get it. Okay, it's gonna happen.
It's true.
So I have in the past tried some different like antidepressants, anti-anxieties, and have not done well on them.
Yeah.
So it scared me off of them for a very long time.
Yeah.
When I probably should have taken them. And for years, I think I did an okay job of advocating for myself, just flat out refusing.
Yeah.
But I recently, over the last year or two, got to a point where even I recognized I needed something.
Yeah.
That I was not doing well. I needed to get on something, but I needed to do it the right way.
Yeah.
For me.
Yes.
So, I put on my big girl panties.
Yes, you did!
And I went into my doctor, and I said, hey, I think I want to try this particular medication, because I had talked to my counselor and you and some other people about, like, what they were using, what worked well. And I said, yes, that's the one I want to try. He's like, great, here's the normal starting dose. And I said, time out.
Time out.
I said, time out. I said, that's great. That's wonderful. I love that that's a good starting dose. But I just flat out said I'm very sensitive to medications. I want to start really, really slow. He's like, okay, that's fine. We can do half of that, which is considered a pediatric starter dose.
It is a pediatric starter dose.
And I said, that sounds really great that there's pills that are half that. I said, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those in half.
Yes,
also.
you are. Yes, you are.
So he's like, okay. Which was great. I was like, all right, here we go. We're going to do this.
Yes.
I go to pick up my prescriptions. The pharmacist laughs at me.
I forgot about this.
Forgot about that piece, right? But he also didn't matter. He just had to fill it. I got it. I just whatever with him. I don't even care. But, I mean, guys, I'm starting on half of a pediatric starter dose. Still got side effects. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they were manageable.
Yes.
So then every 2 weeks when I stepped it up, another half pill, side effects, but manageable. And it got me up to... I'll be honest. I'm still just on the original, like the real starter dose of what most people start on. Yeah. But it's working for me, so why would I go up? Yeah. And I'm just gonna pat myself on the back, everybody. Yeah. I never do this, but like, I'm just really proud of myself because this medication has I don't want to cry. It completely changed my life. And if I hadn't advocated to start where I needed to start and stop where I needed to stop, I wouldn't have made these kind of life changes that you've seen me do over this last year, and I wouldn't be where I am right now. And I'm just so happy with where I am. And it's a big deal. That's why this is something important to talk about, because this is more than just an interaction with your doctor. Yeah. This is, for me, literally life-changing. Yes. Literally I spent 10 years refusing medication. Yeah. Think of what I could have done for 10 years being on the right meds for me. Anyway, no crying.
Well, first of all, you've accomplished so much. You are probably one of the most resilient humans I've ever met. In that, like, you did have a really negative experience, and that was really common because it was when you were early teen. Right?
Yes.
And for our listeners, psychotropic medications have changed immensely.
Yes.
And we have gotten a lot more knowledgeable. This is a fun side tidbit. But medications are designed, the dosage, even the starting dosage, is geared towards a 200-pound man.
Right.
We are women. I was biologically born female. My body processes things with remarkably different levels of hormones.
Yes.
And so much of science hasn't caught up with that yet. That and the other piece, of course, and I don't know if we've actually talked about this yet, but what we're learning, and we talk a lot about bodies all connected, is that there are brain receptors, which we've spent much more time studying, but those same receptors are in your gut.
Yes.
So you've got little psychotropic medication receptors in your gut, which means the side effects, if you start off on a higher dose, can really, they make you feel sick. Like, you want to throw up. You like, so I just think there's so much we're learning about the body that your advocacy, and I hope our listeners are hearing this, because psychotropic medications, when used correctly, can really help you.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 For the right person in the right situation at the right time, they can help.
Yes.
They can.
Yes. I think what's hard about psychotropic medications for me is how hard it is to navigate the medical system, because what psychotropic medications really need are management.
Right.
So I think I'm glad we're talking about this, because they can be such a game changer, and you need to be able to tell your doctor, this one's not working for me, and you need to do that and not feel crazy.
Yes.
And we've associated I love that story so much, because, I mean, someone fucking laughed at you, and you were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I know my body. I know what I need to do, and here you are. And I want our listeners to feel that grit. Like, I want them to, like, hear your story and, like, that's that's my goal, of course, for our listeners, is to feel empowered to navigate that.
And I am so with you, because now being where I am, looking back, like, I get almost mad at myself for, like, why would I not just have said,
Well, that's you on a medication that's easing your anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
So anxiety's such a powder. You know what I mean? Like, because I have suffered with that too, and I have hindsight, because I also use a psychotropic medication that really helps me with my anxiety. Mm-hmm. And I have found myself saying, like, just saying what's true in the moment. And I can't believe I have this weird capacity now to do that.
Yes.
And it's because, but hindsight's always 20/20, and it's hard. I actually kind of get where you're coming from, but of course, as your friend, I don't want you to ever feel like guilt or shame or regret, or, you know what I mean?
No.
Like,
And I would also push people to, I think, just like we've talked about in other situations, like, trust your gut, right?
Yes.
I was able to advocate in this situation because I had experience with it.
Yeah.
So I felt a little more empowered to be like, no, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But even recently, I've come into medical situations with a new medication that it wasn't feeling right.
Yep.
It was just prescribed at kind of the regular starter dose. And I was just thinking, this doesn't feel right. I don't think I want to be taking these. Yeah. And sure enough, I was right.
Yeah.
But I never advocated for myself because I thought, well, I don't know about this medication.
Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah.
I should have trusted my gut, and maybe I wouldn't have
fallen
and gotten myself whiplash. But that's another story. But I want you, the listeners, to try to learn from the mistakes I've made. And it was even more proof to me after that happened, like, no, I was right.
Yeah. Well, and that one's a hard one too, because that was a medication outside of your scope of psychotropics.
Right.
So that's another, because, like, you and I deal in psychotropics all the time. We're pretty familiar with the families and the new stuff coming out. But so I could even see that playing even more into, like, not knowing how to navigate the medical system. This is outside of our scope.
Yeah. That's why I just say trust your gut.
I love that.
Because my gut said, no, I should never start on the normal starting dose.
Yeah.
Like, I just should never do that for any medication.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't work for me.
Ooh, sidebar. If you're going to advocate for that, which I agree with, make sure you talk to your prescribing physician, because some medications, if you cut the pill in half...
oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, we will get into your bloodstream differently. So that's a sidebar. You really do need to have... That's why it's so important that you have the ability to talk to your medical professional about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little sidebar. Okay. Oh my gosh. First of all, I love that story. It's probably one of my favorites because it's such a badass... You know what I mean? Like, you had to overcome people being idiots and you just crushed it. Okay, so that's your number one. What is your number two? Top two?
After you're in charge.
Mm-hmm. Love that. Actually, I love that rule, and I love calling it you're in charge so much.
You are in charge.
Yes, you are. Feel empowered.
I think another one that I would recommend is to know if you can't, like, there should be people in your medical team that can for you. Ask for a social worker. Ask for a patient advocate. Like, I get that it might be too scary for some people, and that is just too much.
Yeah.
Know that there should be a team member, no matter where you're going.
Yep.
They might not be readily available, right? They're not going to offer them to you, but you can say, hey, I need somebody to come be in this appointment with me or whatever it is. Or even after the fact, if things went poorly and it didn't feel right and you need to talk to someone, there's going to be a social worker, a patient advocate, somebody in that healthcare system that can help advocate for you.
I love that.
So look for those people as well.
Yep.
Like I said, that's my job. It's so awesome. It's so weird that I can't do it for myself, but like, I can go into a team meeting and tell doctors ready to retire to, like, knock it off.
Oh,
it's
love
amazing.
That.
It's amazing.
Booyah! I think too, in my experience, and what's hard about giving advocacy advice in a private sector, which everything's private sector, in insurance and that right now, medical insurance is not universal, right? So you might have insurance through the state, you might have insurance through your private provider, through your employer, but one thing you can do, and this is actually pretty common, is if you feel things are getting medically complicated, or you're like, you know what, it's just not feeling right, you want someone to take a second look at all your medications, you want you don't feel like your doctor is competent, there's a bunch of reasons. Call your insurance. Mm-hmm. There'll be a number on your card, and say, I need a case manager. And I need this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're called case consultants, case managers, care coordinators.
Yeah.
Those are probably the top three I've heard. And just say, because especially if you're reaching into, like, different pots of medical care.
Yes.
A care coordinator is going to be really helpful. And what in my experience, you're going to need to tell your care coordinator what you want them to do. Mm-hmm. So, again, this is going to take a lot of advocacy, and I just want you to feel so empowered. But that can be another resource to help you get your needs met. A lot of times they can give you places that have openings for whatever need you're trying to get met.
Yeah.
But really leveraging your insurance can actually be really helpful. I've worked with a couple care coordinators that have made a huge difference on cases. Wow. Yeah, some of them, it's harder to get your needs met, but that's, everyone's work is on a spectrum all the time. But I think that can be another tool if you can't have someone with you and it's just a barrage of information. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You need someone to take those extra steps. I think that's a great.
Yes.
Yeah. It's another
I love that.
person to get. Yeah.
I love that.
They probably won't attend appointments with you, but they could coordinate someone to attend appointments with you.
Right. Yeah. Right. Oh, I love that. Pulling in those people.
Yep.
Pulling in those people.
Yeah. Because you're worth it. Dang it.
Yes.
Yes. And there is. And I need you to hear this, like, listeners, I need you to hear this from my heart. There's nothing wrong with you if you need someone to be with you, right? Like,
yes!
I'm telling you that that's a basic human need. And if you don't have that, there are things that could provide that for you.
Yes. Oh, so, I love that.
Man, I just...
That's not... Yeah, that shouldn't be like the, like, weird case, right?
No.
Yes, it should be the normal standard. 100%.
Yes.
100%. Oh, I love that. I love it.
Can I take a side tangent for a second before we get to number 3?
You never have to ask about tangents.
Because I would like our listeners to learn something that I learned that was of an exceptional level of value. So my number 1 is bring a buddy. And now we're really expanding on what that looks like, which is great. I'm glad we said that.
Yes.
But my number 2 is medical necessity. Medical necessity is a term in which you get all your shit paid for. And that sounds like I'm really underselling it, but I wish.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. And I wish someone would have told me this as a young adult. Like, these are the lessons I wish we would teach high schoolers.
Yeah.
So, say you've got, you know what? Let's use braces as an example.
Okay.
This is, like, really common for me because I work with adolescents. So they go in, and parents, if you've ever experienced this, your dentist says this is just, what's the word? Cosmetic.
Oh.
Do you want to straighten the teeth? It's just cosmetic. Insurance will not pay for it.
Right.
Especially if you have state insurance. Maybe you have a fancier insurance, and they will pay for parts of it. It's super great. That's actually awesome. However, if you get your dentist to take a look and say, hey, actually... this is probably going to cause teeth grinding in the future. Find any reason to make it medically necessary.
A
medical necessity.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that cues insurance that they have to meet that need.
Right.
So, I just encourage you. Foot problems, back problems, eye problems. Pushing for that medical necessity from the doctor.
Right. And like Annie said, you're 100% right. It's the doctor that has to write that. You
correct.
Walking in or putting in your MyChart message, this is a medical necessity. Insurance could care less what you think, unfortunately. So it's about working with that doctor to get them, and really their nurses, to put the right verbiage in to get you what you need. And 100%.
And none of this is tricking the system.
No.
This is something the system should be doing for you.
Yes.
And it's cheaper for medical providers to not.
Right.
So that's another piece I wish someone would have explained to me. Like, nobody is a bad guy in this, but people need to make money. So it's not going to be advantageous for them to treat all of your ailments that are totally medically necessary.
Yes.
So just really helping you feel like you're not putting people out asking for this. You're not a bad person for... You are advocating for your well-being.
Yes.
And that is a medical necessity. That was my number 2. That was I do have a number 3 too, but you go your number 3 because I'm like super excited.
I'll have a 10, but three's plenty. My number 3 I think would be, and this one's can be harder to do, but I think it's so important, especially in working with like a mental health professional or counselor. Okay. So important, and I don't like the term shop around, but I think it's important that if you are not meshing well with a medical provider, it is okay to pick a different one. No one's feelings are going to be hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I'm me, so of course I'm like, if I switch doctors, my doctor's going to go home and cry. They're not even going to know. They're not even going to know. Not that even the good ones that care aren't going to really care.
Yeah.
So if it's not working, it is okay to switch providers.
Yeah.
It's 100% okay to be like, this is not a thing. And you will run into medical providers that you don't mesh well with.
Oh, yeah.
Because, back to the top.
Yep.
They're humans.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
There are just going to be people that are not... It doesn't work well with. So it is okay to be like, this isn't working. I'm going to look for someone else. It happens all the time.
And it's totally
it is not a big deal.
Oh, man.
It will feel like it to your little world, then again, I'm like, why would I think I'm important enough for a doctor to, like, cry over, right? It's dumb when you think about it logically, but just know that it's so normal.
Yes.
And it is more, like I said, it can take work
Yep.
to find a new provider sometimes. So you got to kind of balance that with whatever you're medically going through at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Is it more important to push because I need it now than wait to find a new provider? But find someone that you, because then you won't have to do as much pushing and advocating, right? If you find the right medical provider for you.
Oh my gosh. I could not agree with that more. I remember the first time my Uncle Mike, we were talking about health stuff, and the first time he told me, like, he just flat out fired a doctor. And I was younger at the time, and I remember thinking, like, what?
Huh?
What the F? And then turn around, I had a doctor out here. I was like, okay, you know, this is kind of working. You know, it's all right. Close proximity, that's a positive.
Right.
You know, kind of an okay groove. And then she said something that directly contradicted psychotropic medication journals.
Oh.
And she said it like it was fact and like she was a doctor who knew more. And I remember just thinking, this isn't even worth an argument.
No.
You can't be my doctor anymore. Like,
this just isn't going to work.
I didn't even say anything. I just was like, we're done here.
Great point. You don't have to say anything either. You do not have to justify not going back to that doctor. Just go pick a different one.
And that, you know what? That is okay. That is you.
Yes.
That's not you being like weird.
No.
That is you meeting your needs. And by the way, I found a great doctor who ran 1,000 more tests at my first physical.
What?
And turns out I have high cholesterol and I have to work on that. And I would not have known that had I stayed at that doctor.
Right. Yep.
And I was like, okay, you know what? So just trust yourself. And if it's not the right fit, they are a provider for you. This isn't like a familial support.
Right.
This isn't like someone you should be worried about if they're jumping in and out of your inside circle from like social mapping.
Right.
This is a provider. Their job is to meet your needs. If they're not meeting your needs,
bye.
Kick them to the curb.
Yeah. For reals.
I love that.
For reals.
Such an empowering concept.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Was that your number 3?
That was my number 3. Yeah. What's your number 3?
Oh my gosh. This is a huge one.
I can't wait.
So I learned this. I'm white. And I was learning and really getting educated from a social systems perspective on like what it's like to be a person of color and to really like, because I'm white, so I had not pre-learned these things.
Right.
And so I was learning all the ways that if you're a person of color, you're discriminated against. And I got this nougat of advice, and I am spreading it around everywhere. Because we know that Black women in particular are like incredibly discriminated against in the medical system.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
They are not believed. I mean, it is a statistical fact that it's happening.
100%.
And so I was listening and doing some like really diving into how do I advocate, right? What do I spread to promote positive healthcare? And I learned a nougat, and I need everyone to hear it. Because it goes beyond being a woman of color. This is for everyone. If you have a health provider deny you something that you think you need, you say, cool, put that denial in a letter. Because I'm requesting it, and I'm not leaving until you put in writing that you're not providing that for me. Because that, you know what? I promise you, you will get your MRI after that. You will get your scan. You will get your test. You will get your services. Because that opens the door for liability.
Right.
And it's sad that we have to promote and work with people on that level. And this world is super unjust. So if you feel like, you see a lump, or you feel like you want blood tests and the doctor says no and is pacifying you, makes you feel like you're crazy, say, I want it in writing that you're denying that test for me.
Whoa.
Blew my mind. I was I need to tell everyone this.
Just blew my mind.
Did I really?
You just blew my mind.
Oh my gosh, I have goosebumps.
You are 100% correct, though.
Yeah.
100%.
It's so hard that this is the world that we live in, and I need people to know it's okay to ask for that letter.
Yes.
And I hate that we have to put that pressure to get our needs met, but you deserve your needs to be met.
Yes.
So, fine. You don't want to do that to me?
Wow. You just blew my mind.
Put it in a letter and sign it. doctor.
Yeah. And it's bringing up a lot for me.
Yeah.
I too am white, and what I'm about to say, by no means, I am not trying to say that it's anything near like being a person of color.
Yeah,
I know that that's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
But being a person of a bigger size,
Yeah.
a lot, especially in the medical community, everything is written off as you just need to lose weight.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm surprised when I go to an appointment and it's not.
Wow.
It's not brought up as the cause of whatever I'm going to the appointment for. And I just, I had just always thought, okay, like, what's the point in fighting? But it's not always about your weight or your color or your gender or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Again, back to you best. You know when something's not right with your body. And I love, that's so smart, because no doctor's going to put that they denied something to a patient.
No, they're not.
No.
Oh, man, I have so many thoughts about what you said. My first one is I want to specify anything outside of this European standard of skinny Barbie, any level of other, right?
Othering, yeah.
Yeah, if you're not a cis white dude and you're pretty much anything outside of that
anything
circle,
outside of cis white? Okay.
Yes, you will face these things, and so this tip is so good for anyone.
Anybody.
Even my cis white male brothers out there. Like,
you
know what I mean? Like, it is an important tip, because doctors will pacify you all the time, because for all the reasons, right? They just don't believe you. So, I just don't want to lessen your experience, because you are right. There is, the term, I don't know what it is, but definitely our culture is sizist as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we are making tiny baby little
baby steps.
Tiny little baby steps.
Yeah.
But Jesus, we're out of control.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I just want to honor that and really, really speak to the truth of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're 100% right. Okay, my friend shared this with me. This is not in my top 3, but I just want you guys to know, they weigh you at the beginning of every appointment, and you don't have to do that.
Oh, you can always say no.
Yeah, you can just say, pass.
Consent. I mean, let's go back
come
to
over
consent.
here. Come stand on the scale. You can just look at them and go, no. And they will do nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing bad will happen to you. And, like, so I just want to encourage you, like, I did that for the first time one time, because I was like, well, I was here 3 days ago, so.
Yeah, so I don't think you need it again.
We're not
just an FYI, you can also request, if it's more of like, I don't care if you have it, but I just don't want to know what it is, like, it's not important to me, you can request that it not be shared, or you not see it, or not be put I have clients that we do that for.
I love that. Yes.
We do it because medically they need it for some particular reason, but we don't talk about it, right?
I love that.
We don't show them the number. We don't. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because if you're experiencing in any doctor's appointment shame or blame or guilt, that's going to push you right back. We've talked about it a lot. It's going to push you into that fight or flight. And guess what? You're not going to get anything out of the appointment from then on.
Right.
In fact, you're just probably going to leave discouraged. And at that point, no good things will come out of that. So, I love that this idea of, studying yourself as a person and what you need to feel happy and healthy and, like, this all ties together. It comes from our core wounds, right?
Right.
So the things that we believed about ourselves as a kid really come full circle when we're looking at advocacy in every area. So I just think so much about medical advocacy and how just encourage you to know yourself, to spend that time. My last piece of advice for and we will revisit medical advocacy.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Is to remember that for most of us, it's a taxing experience. So cope.
Yes.
Cope before, cope after. Build that into your day.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Because these are, especially if these are new tools for you. Oh, yeah. They're going to be that maybe anxiety producing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but know that me and Annie are behind you.
We got you.
100.
You can't see, but I'm flexing right now.
And you can even say, you go to your doctor, you can even say, I'm really sorry you don't want to run that test, but Annie and Susan
said
that I just need you to note that in my like, you can do it nicely. It doesn't have to be a fight.
Very exciting. So, there is a national suicide prevention hotline.
Oh!
And we haven't even touched on it. It's new.
Just like
started.
last week or something, right?
I think July 11th, I want to say. I can even Google it. But we should chat a little bit about it and make sure our listeners know all about it.
So there used to be like a big long 1-800 number, and even different ones, I think, sometimes, like for different places, but no longer. Now it's very simple. 3 numbers.
Yep. 988.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
988, and it is a 24-hour staffed crisis suicide prevention line.
Please reach out.
Yeah.
And even I always feel like people think like they shouldn't do it till like they're so like they're at the extreme end of their ropes and like if you are having any sort of kind of thoughts towards that direction and you don't feel like you have anyone else you can talk to, please dial 988.
Yeah.
Please, this is going to be total anonymous person. Yeah. Reach out if you're having any sort of thoughts like that. Yeah. Whether it's to a loved one, trusted friend, or if it's this number, just do. Just give it a try.
Yeah. And I encourage you, if you are the loved one of someone suffering, reach out. 988 isn't just for the person struggling.
Yes, thank you, Annie.
It can be so hard, right? Like it is a truly devastating experience to watch a loved one struggle with mental health. And I need you to know, A, you're not alone, and B, there is help. So there are ways to access 988, and I mean, people will get creative. So this is a huge deal for us in the mental health field to have basically the 911 of mental health.
Of mental health.
So this is great. I was so excited to hear this, and I'm super excited to share it with listeners.
Yes, yeah. And I love this. It's so wonderful because of course I've handed out the longer numbered.
Oh gosh!
But like, who in a crisis, whether you're the person that's feeling that way or a loved one, because you're in crisis also, right? Can remember
a 15
digit number.
See, that's real. That's real understanding. So this is showing me that like we're starting to learn.
We're starting to get it.
Yeah.
We're starting to get
baby
and knowing
steps.
Even this is going to take people a while before it's as simple as 911 in our heads, right?
Yeah. It's
going to take a while, but this is so much.
Yeah.
Proud. I shouldn't pat myself on the back.
988.
But proud of 988 for like you said, recognizing. Just remember 988. Remember, you're in charge of your health care. You know the most.
Yes.
They are a member of your team, but you're the captain.
Ooh.
You're the captain of that ship,
You are the captain.
You're in charge. We love you very much.
Care about you so much. And I wish I could download all the positive lessons I've learned to you so that you can walk a path that is ahead of me, you know?
Even if it's just one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we by no means obviously expect people to, like, take everything we give, like...
God,
no. We are a buffet of tools.
Oh, yes!
We are a buffet of tools. Take what you want, try it, you don't like it, leave it on the plate, box it up. I don't care. I don't care. We love you.
A buffet.
A buffet.
A buffet.
Look, stop. We're not a fancy buffet. We're not a fancy.
We're a buffet.
We're not a fancy buffet.
Okay, on that note, you guys, I can't believe you listened to us. We're so grateful. Please be safe.
Yes.
988.
988.